So Shabbat Shalom, grace and peace. We clear now. We clear. We in the clear. You see the topic of today's class is the origin of Thanksgiving, right? And some of our people in the knowledge, we call it Thanksgiving. You know, because we understand the origin of this, man. So we just want to bring this out. You know, what other better time to bring it out than the day before Thanksgiving, right? So we're going to just bring out this this history and information, because what we understand is that this is it's a so-called holiday, we call it, or a holiday, right? That that lines up with history, right? And we know the Bible is a history book. So if we're gonna go into the history, we got different pieces. I got an article on the internet. I'm gonna read. There's a lot of information on the internet. You type in the origins of Thanksgiving, the genocide of the Native Indians, and it's all online. Information is never ending, right? So I'm gonna read an article off the internet. Got a couple, we call them Israelite lures, couple books to mirror what took place and what happened. And of course the Holy Scriptures, because we know the Bible's a history book. All right? It's a history book, all right? Of letters, of documentation in the history that took place, you know, through the Spirit of the Most High. All right?
Conan Cage just joined. Hey, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You know, yeah.
All right? And why we say Shabbat Shalom? Because it's the 8th day, I'm sorry, the 15th day of the 9th month. 15th day of the 9th month. Like I said, the biblical calendar is, the moon is the biblical calendar. So 8th day, 15th day, 22nd day, and 29th day are the holy Shabbats. So that's why today is a holy Shabbat. It does not line up with the pagan calendar. So trying to understand it with the pagan calendar, you're going to continue to confuse yourself.
Yeah.
So again, the class origin of Thanksgiving, right? So first I want to read this article. And it's in, this article is in the Huff Post, right? Something we know within the country, all right? And just goes into, like I said, the origins of Thanksgiving, all right? Here we go. It's a large article, but I'm just getting a couple pieces out of it. I'm going to these novels, and we're going to go through the scriptures. Thanksgiving has never been a celebratory holiday. All right. It says whenever this person, this is like an editor, a person that's given the kind of their own opinion and I want to say their, I guess, testimony.
Right.
Their testimony of Thanksgiving also.
Right.
Whenever my family did.
But he said that, first of all, we want to get it understood that he did say this. It is not what it is. Ceremonial.
Thanksgiving has never been a celebratory holiday.
A celebratory, so it really never was a celebratory holiday.
There's no origin.
Right.
I mean, it's not a. Of course, we know it's not ordained by the Most High.
Right.
It's something that's a tradition of man.
Right. Recently made.
Right. So, whenever my family did cook, we always gave thanks that all the Native Americans were wiped out when Columbus discovered America. You see that?
That's what I got from it.
Exactly. Because here, I guess you could read this real quick. Might as well. Day 15. Here, page 15, man. You know, we gotta get good at going right into it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, really.
Shoot, where is that piece at? Boom.
Hey, could you read that one more time too? Because I want to hear what he had said. Just one more time.
Start right there in the orange. Thanksgiving is the article. Huff Post. Thanksgiving has never been a celebratory holiday. Okay, go ahead and read that in the orange. And that book, let them know what that book is. Yeah, start in the orange, but let them know what that book is real quick.
Okay, this is it says Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust.
Right.
Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust.
Right. Just that little paragraph.
All right, it says Christopher Columbus discovered absolutely nothing.
Read that one more time.
Christopher Columbus discovered absolutely nothing.
And that's what we got to understand. going into the origin of Thanksgiving, going into the origin of, they're saying, you know, the Pilgrims and they discovered America. We know natives are already there. We got to understand that in the history, the truth is that, read that again.
Christopher Columbus discovered absolutely nothing.
Right, read on.
That he was an adventurer.
He was what?
That he was an adventurer.
That means like he was just a traveler or an explorer. That's all that means. Read.
An opportunist and a willful murderer.
See, an opportunist and a willful murderer are looking for an opportunity to rape, rob, steal, and murder and take over and to pillage. That's what pillage means. Pilgrim, they try to make it sound like a good word. Pilgrim means you pillaged. Conqueror, you conquered. You see? Conquistadors. You conquered a people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Conqueror. That's not someone to be vilified. It's like a killer or a murderer.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, go ahead.
And a liar.
See, lies. Say he discovered America. We don't even discover anything. Read.
And that was what he set in motion was the basis of Western capitalism and exploitation of both Africans and indigenous Americans who had committed no crimes against European people.
Whoa. Now hold that. Go to Jeremiah 50 and 33. See, now we gotta go to the script. Because right there it just said, he conquered Western his civilization. Well, we're in the Western Hemisphere, right? He said the so-called Africans and the natives, right? We know in the scripture the natives and the natives, so-called Africans is the southern kingdom, Judah, and the so-called indigenous or natives are this northern kingdom. Go ahead and read that, Jeremiah 50:33.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, in verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts,
right?
The children of Israel,
right,
and the children of Judah,
the children of Israel, northern kingdom, children of Judah, southern kingdom, the so-called Africans and the so-called natives that we just read about. Read.
Were oppressed together.
Were what?
Were oppressed together.
We just read there in the Western Hemisphere and all throughout the four corners of the globe that the Israelites were scattered throughout slavery. We're going to read that in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Read.
And all that took them captives held them fast.
And all that did what?
And all that took them captives held them fast.
That's Christopher Columbus and the conquistadors that conquered and enslaved the so-called Africans. Right? That's it on that.
They refused to let them go.
Even to this very day. Because why? They still calling us black. They still calling us African American. They're still calling you Indian. They're still calling you Puerto Ricans and Cubans. They're hiding you. So we're the hidden ones in the scriptures. All right? Even to this very day. That's why this Bible is a true book. It's a history book, and it's a connection to one nation of people, you know, that are alive to this day. Like the scriptures talk about in Hosea 1 and 10, right? That the children of Israel, like the sand of the sea, you know, they're sons of the living God, like those trees and the plants and when it rains and the air that we breathe, right? Most High God said if the sun, moon, and stars aren't existing no more, then His people won't be on the planet anymore, right? Children of Israel still here, and the Most High God is calling His people back. So classes like this, Origin of Thanksgiving, we bring out Origin of Columbus Day, Christmas is coming up, we just had Halloween, we call them these pagan holidays, right? And we're living in an age, we're now in the age of knowledge, so it's easier for us to be able to attain this information and apply it to our lives and share it with our people, right? All right, let me see that book again. All right, so that's just one piece I want to read out of there real quick. Let me finish a little bit more of this article. Okay. The public education school system told me what Thanksgiving was all about. I was very careful to regurgitate what they taught me when tested so I wouldn't get a failing grade when I was older, though I was told the truth. My great-great-great-grandfather was part of a band of black Indians in Florida. You see that? So this person was an Israelite of maybe Gad or Reuben, one of the northern kingdom tribes. Hence my unique and Native American sounding last name. It seems I come from a long line of warriors and activists. See that? That's our blood. That's our people, man. That's our people. Long line of, she said, a long line of warriors and activists. So let's get another little piece here. 32. Page 32. All right. This book is The Black Indians, A Hidden Heritage. A Hidden Heritage. Think about that. Black Indians, Hidden Heritage. That's the name of this book. All right. You can show. You go ahead. Well, this is you could lift that picture up real quick. They'll be able to see it a little bit. That's where the natives. Right. That was the natives were conquered. Right. And go ahead and read the bottom of that paragraph, because she said right here. This article says that I come from a long line of warriors and activists. Right. So go ahead and read that paragraph.
When captured, Native American resistant leaders were ceremonially put to death.
See that? Ceremonial put to death. So these are warriors and activists. Okay, read on.
In 1512.
In 1512. This is before Thanksgiving. See what I'm saying? Wasn't no Thanksgiving though. So in 1512, read.
Hadaway, a Taino, who fought the invaders in the Hispaniola and Cuba.
The Taino, that's the so-called native Indian from one of those tribes. Right? Read on.
Was captured and was asked him by a priest if he first wanted to accept baptism so he could enter heaven and meet God.
See, a lot of that came into Christianity, Catholicism. You know, religions came with these holidays, Thanksgiving. So conquering these people, making them submit to them, giving them a false religion is what they were coming with. And what did he say? Read on.
No, he answered.
What did he say?
No, he answered.
See, like I said, these are warriors and activists. No, he answered. Read.
I would only find more Christians there.
See, more people like you, more conquerors, more deceivers, more liars. That's the activist in the war that was standing up for his people in this land. You see that? Now go ahead and give me Micah 2 and 2. Give me Micah 2 and 2 real quick. All right. And here in this thing is saying that was the year 15 something.
1512.
Right here it says, I learned, okay, in 1637, this is when all this was implemented. 1637. So it was almost 100 years after the genocide. So Thanksgiving went right after the genocide. You see what I'm saying? The genocide, you're going to say it didn't happen in just one day. Right? It took them years to conquer and slaughter and take over the land and the people and pillage them and indoctrinate them. All right?
Micah 2 and 12?
Yeah, Micah 2 and 2.
2 and 2. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields.
And they do what?
And they covet fields.
They covet fields. Fields is lands. Land masses. Read. Like America and Africa. Read.
And take them by violence.
And do what?
And take them by violence.
That's what Christopher Columbus and the conquistadors did. The pilgrims. Right? They covet fields and take them by violence. With the violence, rape, rob, and murder. That's what they did. Read.
And the houses.
And houses. The houses are not the place where you live, but that man, his wife, and his children. So his land, rape, rob, and murder him, his wife, and his children. Read on.
And take them away. So they oppress a man.
Right.
And his house.
They oppress a man and his house. That's what happened to the what? So-called natives and the blacks. Read.
Even a man and his heritage.
So not only they take your nationality, your home, which is your wife and children, but also your heritage. Which your heritage? God's law, statutes, and commandments, as the Israelites that was given. So what? And they give you holidays. They give you false religion, give you Catholicism, give you Buddhist, give you baptism. All these different false religions. Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness, right? Take away your heritage. So give you another name, give you another tongue, right? And all this is in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Go ahead, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Man. All right, and we finish with a little more of this article. Pilgrims invaded. They also set the village, which included many children, on fire. Many were hunted down and killed, while many included historians known as the massacre called it Thanksgiving Day. A day of thanksgiving, thanking God that they had eliminated over 700 men and children.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one house. One family eliminated 700.
Yeah.
They're just talking about one household. Imagine all the household getting Confederate and slaughtering all these people with one consent. You know what I'm saying? And to do them harm and evil so they can have, so they won't be the damn vagabond.
I know, I'm just thinking of precept. Now, if we gotta know you're going to Deuteronomy, go to oh my goodness, go to Zechariah 11:5, man.
That's just serious, bro.
Yeah, go to Zechariah 11:5 real quick, because they're saying right here, a day of thanksgiving, thanking God that they, who's the they? The conquistadors,
his
the
children.
pilgrims, right? His children, the Isaiah 14:21. Thanking God that they had eliminated over 700 men, women, and children. Zechariah 11:5, man. Gotta read that real quick before we go to Deuteronomy. Man. A day of thanksgiving, thanking God that they had eliminated over 700 men, women, and children, man. They're thanking God.
Yeah.
Zechariah
11:5. Zechariah. Whose possessors slay them.
Do what?
Whose possessors slay them.
Slay them, because it said that they had eliminated over 700 men, women, and children. Whose possessors slay them, read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
See, that's them. They set up the judicial court system, so they can get themselves off. They said that they took over the land, set up the system, and set up laws to incriminate God's chosen people, the blacks and Hispanics. That's what the criminal justice system is based on, off the slavery, off the conquest. So read that from the top again. Whose possessors slay them.
Whose possessors slay them.
Right.
And hold themselves not guilty.
We hear that all the time when it comes to our people and them in court. Not guilty. Read on.
And they that sell, they say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
They said what?
Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
Right here, thanking God that they had eliminated over 700 men, women, and children. They're thanking God for that thing. And then on top of that, for I am rich. Why? Because we know slavery wasn't cheap. Slavery was a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's why that's that blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. You're going to do Deuteronomy 28. That's that blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Right. Huh? Well, you got some more in there? Go ahead.
And their own shepherds pity them not.
They say, all right, our own shepherd pity them not, meaning what? Our own leaders. That goes into Jeremiah 14:2. Yeah. Judah mourneth, the gates are of language, but they are blackened to the ground. Right? The gates are of language. We don't have any leadership. We don't. And why? Because not only broke the covenant to the Most High God, but when you go into number and you go into nations, right? The United Nations, does the children of Israel, does God's chosen people, the blacks and Hispanics, have any legal representation? No. We don't have any representation in the United Nations. So we're considered the hidden ones. So we don't, and our so-called leaders will be what? These pastors, these so-called activists, ball players and entertainers are our so-called leaders. We don't have no leaders. Judah mourneth and the gates are of languished to this very day. And that's just that.
That's real though. That's real.
All right, Deuteronomy.
I didn't never think about that. That's real though, man.
Yeah, man. We
I just thought that they were just selling. They were sellouts, but no, they ain't sellouts. The Most High gave them that reprobate ass mind,
right?
Go astray. He don't want them to get no truth. Right. You know what I'm saying? Dwell in wickedness and get destroyed, right along with our oppressors in Babylon for helping us. You know what I'm saying? Helping our oppression. Right. Our own so-called leader, but they ain't leaders. They ain't leading a damn thing, man.
Shepherds that scatter the sheep of my flock. That's what they are.
Right.
Blind lead the blind. They're just here to cause confusion.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You guys said something was already in play. What is that? Oh, the gates language. Yeah. Right. The gates language.
And they stayed language.
They stayed language, yeah.
Since that scripture was written, they've been language.
Yep.
Right. Since Jeremiah wrote it, it's been languished. All right.
Deuteronomy 28. What?
Yeah, we're going back. We're going to Deuteronomy 28, man. Also, just to touch on this, is a Willie Lynch letter. It's another book called a Willie Lynch letter. So not only, because we got to understand with Thanksgiving, not only were the natives and the Tainos and the people, the Native Americans were conquered and the land was stolen from them, but the brothers and sisters from so-called from west coast of Africa, the Southern Kingdom, okay, played a role into this Thanksgiving also. Why? Because not only were they got northern and southern kingdom, God's chosen people, right? But the other tribes were all brought in that go into this also, because these curses or these things that want to happen as far as being conquered happen to both kingdoms. Southern kingdom, northern kingdom was conquered, were here in their land and stolen from them, and then the southern kingdom was taken into captivity and brought here. So it applies to both kingdoms, right? So what Christopher Columbus did, what Willie Lynch did was came to help Christopher Columbus. Like, hey man, you guys, y'all done killed, right? Help y'all, so-called order. Like you said, because we read what, over 700 men, women, and children. So Willie Lynch came with, hey man, I'm going to help you, help you better your slave, your slaving of your people.
He said, by me doing this, you can have slaves for a longer period of time,
and then not have to kill them.
Right.
Instead of killing them, we need to break them and train them.
Right.
So that's where Willie Lynch came in.
And be real crafty with how you deal with them.
Crafty with how you deal with them. Exactly. Yeah. So I want to bring that out real quick.
Yeah, he's a real little goddamn good old boy. He's a real good old boy.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn Willie Lynch.
Here we go. This was Willie Lynch came through the islands to help the conquistadors, and because you remember when we talk about Edom, there's other nations. You got the French, you got the Grecians, right? You got the Romans, right? You got the Dutch, Poland. So Italians. So that seven head, that dragon in Revelation is talking about all the Edomite nations. Okay, go ahead and read that paragraph right there. It's called "Let's Make a Slave." That's the name of this paragraph right here.
All right, this is "Let's Make a Slave" in the Willie Lynch letter.
Right.
Written by Willie Lynch himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's let us make a slave. What do we need?
Right.
First of all, we need a black nigger man,
Uh-huh.
a pregnant nigger woman,
Uh-huh.
and her baby nigger boy.
You see that? So the man, woman, and child.
Second, we will use the same basic principles that we use in breaking the horse,
Uh-huh.
combined with some more sustaining factors.
Right.
We reduce them from their natural state and nature.
We did what?
We reduce them from their natural state and nature.
See, he sounds just like Willie, right? Now you said reduce from the natural state and nature. Why? Because we were in the west coast of Africa. We were originally in Jerusalem. Fled into Africa. We had our own customs. We had our own heritage. We wore fringes. We kept God's laws, statutes, and commandments. So we did what now?
Reduce them from their natural state and nature.
So they had to take that, they had to strip that away from us. Who we were. That's why you got that beating of Kunta. Your name is not Kunta. Your name is Tobit. So beat your name out of you. Beat your language out of you, because we spoke Hebrew. Yeah. We didn't speak English and Spanish and Creole. That's not our tongue.
Right.
That's why the Bible had to be translated into English and Spanish, because of God's chosen people were going to be going into captivity. So God knew this was going to happen. Right? So go ahead and read on.
Whereas nature provides them with a natural capacity to take care of their needs and their needs of their offspring.
You see that? Because we know the Most High, we were already given, ways of life, right? Because besides this, he gave them knowledge and the laws of life for an heritage. We know how to take care of ourselves. This place was already, how I want to say, when Christopher Columbus and the King Conquistadors came over, the native of this land was already populated. It was already a running society. Right? Read on.
We break that natural stream of independence from them and thereby create a dependency state so that we may be able to get from them useful productions of our business and pleasure.
You see that? So break them from their natural use, snatch everything from them as far as what they used to know and what they were taught, because that's all in Deuteronomy 28. Kill the old and the young. You see that? And then retrain these people to what?
Build up our business.
To build this country. Because we know what? The so-called blacks and natives built this country. We talk about it all the time. It's in the history books. We built this country. Read on.
That's it.
Okay, boom. Now Deuteronomy chapter 28.
Devil,
Yep. Most High God said it was going to happen.
He said he know that we depended on, you know what I'm saying, the Most High, they're depending on like the earth to bring forth crops and animals to bring forth, reproduce, you know what I'm saying, for food. And you know what I'm saying, so we wouldn't depend on nobody. We know how to take care of ourselves. We're going to take that from them. Mm-hmm. So they'll just only believe in damn money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we hold all the money.
And we hold all the money. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Actually, before you go to Deuteronomy,
they won't think to go plant nothing, because why? Because you'll get cited. You'll get ticketed if you try to garden your yard right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the city limits. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
They control all that. That's what they did.
If you collect water, you get cited and you can possibly face prison time. They've been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So you got Deuteronomy 28. I'm just going to read something real quick in Isaiah, because this is what we got to understand. Like I said, we read this information. We read the article, which was the class, Origin of Thanksgiving. So we read that article and got pieces out of that, right? We read it into these lures. Israelite lures, I call them, right? Black Indians, hidden heritage. We read into Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust. You understand that Christopher Columbus didn't discover anything. That's false history. The Bible's a history book, and we're going to go into this history. While these things took place. Willie Lynch letter, we brought out some information in this too, right? Now this is Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 10. Okay, it says, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. These are the words coming from Isaiah over the Most High, declaring the end from the beginning. So everything that happened from the beginning, meaning what? Genesis, to the end, when Christ returned, going into the book of Revelations. Yeah. All these are prophecies that line up with the history. And from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, so things that haven't happened yet, he already declared from way back, man. He declared from back then, okay, I'm creating heaven and earth and all things. I'm creating a chosen people. These are my people. These are my laws and covenant to govern the earth. If you break them, this is going to happen. And when you do break them, I'm going to send these people over you. And then in the latter days, which is the days that we live in now, I'm going to call you back into the covenant. Mm-hmm. That's what we're living in right now. That's part of history. Mm-hmm. Okay? Saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. My counsel shall stand. That's the Most High words. And what's that counsel? That's the end. That's the kingdom of heaven, man. Kingdom of heaven, 12 gates for the 12 tribes. So if you're not an Israelite, you're not one of those 12, where you going? Mm-hmm. A repentant Israelite, sorry. So, all right, Deuteronomy chapter 28. Okay, let's start at 64.
This 64.
Yeah, because we don't get to understand is like, this is what happened to the people. This is everything that we read in these lures and stuff. Now, these are the prophecies that said it was going to happen. It was written way before all of this, before these lures, right? Read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Read that again.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
And why were we scattered? Because of slavery. We went into captivity. All right? Among all people. All people is what? All nationalities. So conquistadors coming over to conquer the natives, right? And then the so-called Africans, which were the southern kingdom of Israel, being sold into captivity. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. Read.
From the one end of the earth even to the other.
Right.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And that's what we're doing right now, serving other gods. What? The first God we were introduced is what? Happy birthday. Idolatry. Right? And then you got your holidays. Holidays, what we call them in this understanding of truth, right? Those are other gods. Birthdays, holidays. You know, some people love their car. They love their team. You know, they love their pair of shoes. All right? He said, thou shalt serve other gods. Read.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Which neither you, thou, nor thy fathers have known. We didn't know no birthday. There was no, when God gave us law, statutes, commandments on the wilderness with Moses, there was no birthday. Mm-hmm. There was no holidays. There was no Christmas. There was no Thanksgiving. There was none of that. All right? Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, there was no holidays. Read on.
Even wood and stone.
Wood and stone. These are prophecies. Wood being that crucifix, that cross. Stone being the megastone. Because the copper stone, sorry. Because, I'm saying Mecca. But copper stone. Because Christianity, the religion of Christianity, and the religion of Islam, the Muslim religion, are the two most popular religious organizations in the earth. So these are prophecies talking about our people are going to be going into these philosophies. Colossians 2 and 8 say, beware these philosophies and doctrines of men. Right? So let's jump back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 32.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
And that's what happened, not only with the Northern Kingdom, the natives and the Latinos and so-called Hispanics that Christopher Columbus and the conquistadors conquered. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to other people. Because what the older chiefs, chiefs were killed, right? Their wives and the daughters and sons were going into captivity. Same thing with the Southern Kingdom. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long.
Right.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
See, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing from them. Because these things are what happened. These sons and daughters were going to give it to other people. Right? And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long. Because you weren't going to see your people again. They were sold into captivity. That was it. You think maybe like on a vacation, and we go through times where we not see our people for a little while, but you ain't seen them no more, right? And there shall be no might in thine hand. This and these are prophecies. Why? Because this is what the Lord said. The Most High said that these people are going to go be sold into captivity for breaking the covenant. So these are things that happen to God's chosen people by the oppressors, right? Go ahead and read 33.
Verse 33, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors.
See that? The fruit of thy land and all thy labors. So the fruit of thy land is what? Your crops, your cattle, right? The fruit of your land and all thy labors, right? You having your own, being able to govern yourself and take care of your own land. All that was going to be taken away from you. Read on.
Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
See that? A nation which thou knowest not eat up. Whose nation is that? The conquistadors and the Spaniards. They came over here speaking Latin. You spoke Hebrew. Read.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
And that's what happened. And thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed always. Read that in Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them and hold himself not guilty. Right? And thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed away. Right. Because look right now. The land has been stolen, it's been taken over, and where the Indians at? Where the so-called natives at? On reservations. On reservations. And crushed away. That's your reservations.
Right.
And ain't that many Native Indians or Native American Indians around like that. You don't really see them every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it was a real genocide on these people.
They ran through them.
They ran through them people, man. You know? Now you let's go ahead and jump down to verse. Go ahead and read verse 37.
That's how you get all the movies that came out. I'm sorry, man.
No, you good?
The Robin Hoods and you know what I'm saying. You got the conquistadors, the Spanish settlers, and
right.
You know what I'm saying, and all killers like murderers, man, Vikings. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They got so many damn names, man. The Three Musketeers.
Right.
Three Musketeers. They were just a part of that damn Spanish settler. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That had the full. You know what I'm saying? With the little small, long, sharp, slender swords. You know what I'm saying? Cutting off people's head with the big hats with the feathers. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was, man. It was nothing but Christopher Columbus brothers, man.
Right.
I mean, we're killing all our people.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly.
Nobody don't do research on this stuff, though, man. But you want to know where, bro?
Verse 37.
Oh, verse 37. Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
And see, that's what's happening right now to this day. To this day, like we read, in Isaiah, from the declare from the end, from the beginning, and thou shalt become an astonishment. Look what's going on right now. It's like, wow, these are God's chosen people. They still call themselves Indian. Indian means savage. All right, the indigenous people of this land are on reservation. That's an astonishment. And our people celebrating Thanksgiving. You're celebrating the genocide of your own people. That's an astonishment. Right? A proverb. You want to hide something from blacks, Hispanics, niggas, and spics? Put it in a book. It's their history. They don't read. They don't even know. And a byword. Again, those are these names. African American, Haitian, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Cuban. These are bywords. Some people want to call themselves Christian. It's a byword. It means follower of Christ, a true follower of Christ, but keeping his commandments. Right? But a Christian, that's not your nationality. That's not your bloodline. You don't descend from a Christian. You know? Muslim just means to submit. They try to throw that out. It just means to submit. To submit to who? Supposed to be submit to the Most High. And you're going to be a servant of the Most High if you're an Israelite. Right?
We don't want to be everything, man.
We want to be everything but Israelites. And everything but what you were made to be. Right. Yeah. That's our people, man.
We're more something.
More. Everyone be Moors. Why? See, everything that don't require responsibility. You see? Anything that don't require responsibility. More, Muslim, anything that don't require responsibility. They all for it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You still get to do what you want.
There's no correction, right? There's no correction. There's no growth. No growth. There's no getting built up.
Yeah.
It's just
a bunch of hindering.
Right. You know, just knowledge, tongue wrestling, right? Read verse 41.
Deuteronomy 28:41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
So thou shalt beget sons and daughters. I mean, we're going to have children. You know what I'm saying? The natives, the so-called blacks, we had children. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them. What that mean, thou shalt not enjoy them? Because, read on.
For they shall go into captivity.
For they what?
For they shall go into captivity.
Because they're going to be going to slavery and serving another nation. You're not going to be able to see them no more. Thy eyes shall fail with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. We just read that in verse 32. For they shall go into captivity. That's commandment. Most like God said it was going to happen to his people. Because why? Because we broke the covenant. All right? We broke the covenant. Read Deuteronomy 28:15 real quick. Because people, y'all got to really have to understand is why this happened. God, because some people like to ask themselves, especially just waking up into this knowledge and understanding, right? If God has a chosen people and he only loved them, why they went into slavery? Why they went into captivity? Read 28 verse 15 real quick.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
Future prophecy, this is going to happen.
If thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Read that again. If thou what?
If thou would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this is what God is telling through Moses. If y'all don't, if my Israelites, my people, if you don't listen and obey all my commandments, if you don't hearken and listen to my commandments, read on.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
Right.
And his statutes,
right,
which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
all these what?
All these curses.
All these curses. Curses are bad things. This is what's happened to the so-called blacks and Hispanics. Read.
Shall come upon thee,
right,
and overtake thee.
Going to come upon you and overtake you. This is Most High God's word saying it's going to happen to his people. So he's telling you that these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you, brother. So there's nothing you're going to do to be able to escape it. Shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Read.
Curse shall thou.
No, until the end of 15.
Which I command thee this day that all these curses shall come upon thee,
right,
and overtake thee,
right, and come upon thee and overtake thee. Right, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Right. Overtake thee. Right. These curses shall overcome and overtake thee. So the children of Israel weren't going to be able to do anything to escape these curses and these prophecies that are going to happen only to them, right? You can go ahead and read 16.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So that only fits us. Curse in the city, curse in the field. Think about that. Are the Chinese people cursed in the city or in the field? The answer is no. Chinese, Japanese, go down the line with all the nationalities. And then you think about the so-called native Indians and the blacks and Hispanics that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Especially here in America also. Right? Curse in the city, curse in the field. Last hour, first fire. Can't find a job. Fill up the jail cells. That's out in the city and the field. That's a working field, and that's when there was physical slavery going on, and it still is going on. You go out in Plant City or certain areas. Who's still in the cotton? Who's still in the strawberry? Who's picking strawberries right now? Northern Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So-called Mexicans.
Right.
These fields are still out here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain people that are doing the work and getting paid below minimum wage for it.
Right.
Chinese people out there in the fields,
Mm-hmm.
the Arab man out in the fields,
Nope.
right? You go to any one of them labor pools. You go to a labor pool, what you see? They're 80%. Because there are some other heathens out there, but what we call them other heathens? We call them two-time losers.
Right.
Because this is their kingdom. They shouldn't be at the bottom.
Right.
They shouldn't be scraping for pennies. You know? All right, now let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Let's jump down to 45. We say these curses are going to overcome these people to this very day. So let's read a little more on these, man. Because like I said, these only fit God's chosen people, which are the Israelites. That's what we're doing in this class. Origin of Thanksgiving. Our people need to come out of ways of America. All right, Revelation 18 says, come out of her, my people. You understand? There's different levels of coming out of her.
Mm-hmm.
We got to come out of ways of America. We're not American. Okay, you're an American citizen. You're an American resident, but you're not American by blood. America's not your bloodline. Okay, and on that note, no one's American. Mm-hmm. But God gave his people law, statutes, and commandments as a heritage. And that's why we're going through this. Go ahead and read on verse 45.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
See, that's how we're going to identify you Israelites. These curses shall come upon thee, pursue thee, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Well, how you going to be destroyed? Well, you still here. Destroyed of what? We were reading earlier. Your language, your nationality, your heritage, your culture. It's all been destroyed. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We're destroyed in knowledge, and spiritually and mentally we're destroyed. We're calling ourselves bywords. We think we're American. We think God. We're think all included. Everybody's all one, and we're all American. This big old gumbo pot, and Thanksgiving. You see, so we've been indoctrinated. Read on.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Why? Because what?
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God. To keep his commandments. And his statutes, which he commanded.
That's why this has happened. Because we didn't serve the Most High God. Therefore, because we didn't, because thou hearkenest not to the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes. So that's why we are destroyed to this day. Read on.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
They talking about the curses. These curses are going to be on you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. They're going to be upon you for a sign. Read.
And for a wonder.
And a wonder. That's why that's why we're spiritual beings. We're always trying to figure out what's going on. For a wonder. Read.
And upon thy seed forever.
Upon your children forever. Because we know what the children go by. Your nationality, your bloodline goes by the seed of your father. So upon your seed forever. So that's why the scriptures talk about the forefathers. Because the fathers determines the nationality or the bloodline. As in Numbers 1:18. Read on. And upon thy seed forever,
And upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord thy God.
Because what?
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God. With joyfulness. And with gladness of heart. For the abundance of all things. Okay,
so since we didn't serve God with joyfulness and gladness and abundance of all things, since we didn't serve the Most High God, we didn't keep his law, statutes, and commandments. We didn't hold on to our heritage and our laws and the ways of life. Since we didn't do that, 48.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
For who?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Therefore, the Most High God is saying you're going to serve your enemies. So therefore, Christopher Columbus is coming to conquer you. Therefore, you're going to go into captivity. Therefore, the Romans, like Christ said in Luke, when the Romans come past Jerusalem, you have to flee into the mountains, into Africa. So therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemies. Your enemies are what? The other nations that don't like you or that hate you. That's in Psalms 83. But God's telling us that we got enemies. Therefore, thou shalt serve thy enemies. So we got to understand, God don't love everybody. If God is telling us, these people, that he has enemies, right? Therefore, you're going to serve your enemies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Which who?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
You got to understand, brothers and sisters, the Most High sent, just like when you spank your child, you beat your child. You give him time out, right? Or you spank him with a belt or a paddle or a shoe. Most High is using these other nations to punish his people for breaking his covenant. Okay, so it says, therefore, shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. Because the Most High send the other nations against us. And they're on top of us to this day. Who we serving right now? Your enemy, right? You working for the other nation, and you got to pay the other nation to live. Who you paying for lights? Who you paying for water? Who you paying for food? When God shows the people, we're given the earth. He even made the earth and the world for our sakes. We ain't supposed to be working. We ain't supposed to be paying for rain, water. The other nations were made to serve the Israelites. But now it's flipped upside down. Now the Israelites are serving other nations till Christ redeems us. Right? That's Luke 168. So therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
In hunger,
right?
And in thirst,
right?
And in nakedness.
Hunger, thirst, and nakedness. So food, drink, and clothes. You got to serve your enemies. Read on.
And in the want of all things.
The want of everything, man. Birth certificate, death certificate, driver's license, college degree. Whatever you want or need, you got to go to your enemy. Read.
And he.
And who?
And he.
Now let you know this, that enemies is talking about a person. Ain't no devil under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no devil floating around, tempting you. And he, read.
Mm-hmm. Shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Now, if anyone, brothers and sisters, we encourage you. Pause the video if you need to, YouTube, or you at home watching live Periscope. Mm-hmm. Go on your Google, on your YouTube, on your phone. Google yokes of iron. And he shall do what?
Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So you go into Google and type in yoke, Y-O-K-E, of, O-F, iron, I-R-O-N, and go to images. And look what comes up. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, and look at what those people look like. Look on those images. Google that and look at the images. Search it out. Yep. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until when?
Until he have destroyed thee.
See, that was that physical bondage that was taking place to what? To strip God's chosen people, the Israelites, of their language, their nationality, their heritage and culture. Until they get destroyed thee. Until you don't know who you are, you don't know your language, you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. Now you're African American. Now you're American. Now you're indoctrinated to the ways of America. Right? Now the slaves and the people now that they've broken us, now what we're doing is passing the lie down to our children.
Right.
Now we're teaching our children Thanksgiving, happy birthday, happy Halloween, Merry Christmas, Easter, spring break. What is spring break? Like you be saying, like what is the weekend? Right. Who taught us the weekend? Who told us it was spring break? Mm-hmm. You see that? Who told us it was the holiday season? You see? So we've been indoctrinated. That's until you were destroyed. Until he had destroyed me, until you were indoctrinated.
Right.
That's what that means. Until you became indoctrinated. All right? Go ahead and read verse 49.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
There it is again. The Lord sent these people. They didn't just come on their own. Like people think that the devil just can do whatever they want to do, whatever he wants to do. No. The devil, you read in Job chapter 1, the devil or the Satan or the evil spirit has to get permission from the Most High. Mm-hmm. So when some evil's going on, the Most High sends that evil spirit to deal with that. Mm-hmm. So read that 49 again.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
From far, right? Read.
From the end of the earth.
Right.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as who?
As swift as the eagle flieth.
And that's a clue right there. That's a parable. As swift as the eagle flieth. So you ask yourself, who represents the eagle? is their national bird. All the so-called Esau, Idumea, Edomite nations, starting with America, back to Rome, back to Greece. In our flyers, we got a couple of them in here as an example. Greece, Rome, USA, France. You know, they commemorate the eagle. Look on the back of your quarter. Look on the back of your dollar. The U.S. mail truck. Okay? As swift as the eagle fly. I think that's what in Obadiah or Malachi, he exhorted himself as the eagle. Obadiah? Yeah, he exhorted himself as the eagle. So that's a sign, it's a clue right there. As swift as the eagle flieth, read, and gets more explicit.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
You see that? A nation, a nationality of people whose tongue, whose language, what they were speaking Latin. When they came, we spoke in Hebrew, they were speaking Latin. Whose tongue thou shalt not understand. We know what the hell they were talking about when they came over here and conquered us.
Right.
But they brought some Hebrew translators with us because they knew what? Christopher Columbus knew. There's a movie called The Conquest of Christopher Columbus, 1419. Yeah. Talks about what he read in Second Esdras, where he knew where the 10 tribes were going to the Western Hemisphere.
Right. That's where our Northern Kingdom brothers, the so-called Hispanics, get their language from.
Exactly.
And the so-called Levites, well, not the so-called Levites, but the so-called Haitians,
right,
who are the Levites, they get their language from the damn French.
Creole.
You know what I'm saying? And they dealt with it too, that eagle, right? We got the French, the Roman, the Spaniards, and that dealt with that
the eagle. The eagle is there.
That's Edomite nation. So
right.
See, all those languages that we know, even the so-called Jamaican language, you know what I'm saying? They call it patois.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's from UK. That's from the UK.
It's like English and British a little bit.
Right.
It's just broken English.
That's broken English.
Broken
English. That's what it is.
That's
from the UK. That's from them too. That's not from them.
No.
The so-called the Irie man over there smoking damn weed word about Selassie. That's
right.
He didn't make that language.
No, he did. No, he did.
They gave you that language. They gave, you know what I'm saying? You cut sugar cane, and they told you worship Selassie. If you ain't want to worship Jesus, worship Selassie, man.
Right.
That's what brother bringing out. You know what I'm saying? These different Edomite nations who came as swift as an eagle, a nation whose tongue thou would not understand, because we spoke Hebrew and they spoke all these other, languages, and they indoctrinated us with all of that.
Right. All praises you brought that out, bro, because, you know what I'm saying, that's what happened, man. And it's all documented in the Holy Scriptures, in history, in these, we call them Israelite lures because it goes into the history of the people. So the Israelite lures. And who are the Israelites? God's chosen people. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans scattered throughout the four corners, man.
I just don't see why people don't say, you know what? Everything that I know, I learned from somebody. You know what I'm saying? Right. From another nation of people.
Right.
I haven't learned nothing from my people yet.
Right.
What can I learn from my people? And, you know what I'm saying? Then try to just sit down and do some research. Be like, damn, let me try to learn something from my people. Ain't nothing you can say that, you know what I'm saying, your people know. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't these scriptures, our people didn't make it. Mm-hmm. And we didn't deal with these things. We were indoctrinated, bro. Everything we know was indoctrinated, bro.
Lies passed down.
You know what I'm saying? Being the hardest nigga on the block, he was indoctrinated to do that, man. Crips and blood. They put the Crips and blood against each other. Right. Hey, man, all this was taught. Everything was taught to us, man.
Taught, right.
That's why Christ said we got to be born again.
Mm-hmm. That's why all praise to the brother Jedi be bringing out having an image. You see? Mm-hmm. What's our image? Our image is what they gave us.
Right.
They gave us an image.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like you said, our people don't even try to dig back to who we were because we've already bought into the lie of what we were taught that's been passed down hundreds of years. So all we're going to go back is to grandma and great. We ain't going to go back no further than grandma now.
So, but hey, that's
crazy. You see, I know it's sad.
Like, that's crazy. Yeah,
we ain't going back for grandma then, man.
I'm just comfortable with what I'm doing now.
Right. And not to mention too, this is another thing with our people. We know that our parents, our grandparents, they were sold on faith. You see, I'll say grand and great grandparents. Our grandparents and great grandparents were sold on faith. So that's why nothing was passed down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Nothing was passed down. What was passed down? The lies that were beaten into them.
Yeah.
Because they were sold on faith.
Yeah.
But the lies, like what we say, a lie ain't gonna last so long, man. Romans 1:25. Well, let me finish. Let's finish this real quick. 49. And as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Why? Because they can't speak in Latin, and we spoke Hebrew, right? And all the other languages that the brothers brought that we picked up now, right? And read verse 50, 28:50, and then we're gonna go to Romans 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50.
Right?
A nation of fierce countenance.
A nation, a nationality of fierce countenance. What, they came over here and straight raped, robbed, murdered, and pillaged and took over the land, man. So a nation, a nationality of people with fierce countenance, read, the Spaniards, the conquistadors, read.
Which shall not regard the person of the old.
Will not regard the person of the old chief, the old grandma and them. Because we know that's where the heritage comes down to be passed down. So the chief, great grandmama them, because that great grandmama they sewing fringes. You see what I'm saying? They baking unleavened bread. You see that? So should not regard the person of the old. Saying they did away with our elders, so nothing can be passed down. Read.
Nor show favor. First content which show not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Nor show favor to the young. The young got the same thing because the young got indoctrinated. The young, they cut all their hair off. Change their clothes. Remember, they put them in boarding schools. The Indians, when they conquered the Indians, when they took over the land, they took the children, they separated them. They put them in these schools and all that. The young kids. That's where the indoctrinating started. Right. Show no favor to the young, man. And that's what happened. Go to Romans 1:25.
That fierce countenance, they came with the knights, the suit, like the knights in shining armor suits.
Oh yeah.
Where they can't be pierced with no sword or shot with an arrow. It just was like, hey man, it's all type of fear content. Because I watched this documentary on National Geographic one time, right? They was doing on some indigenous tribe that's out there in Brazil, right? And they only wore like something to cover up their private area, right? But the breast all out for the women, and the man don't have no shirt on. Anyways, these people was looking at this white man like, you know what I'm saying? They never seen him. Like, boy, what you doing out the caves? Like, they never seen a white man before, and they probably didn't see a white man over there. They started throwing stuff at him, you know what I'm saying, taking like what they could and running back across the little river, you know what I'm saying, going into the deeper in the woods. He wouldn't chase them over there because,
get murked.
Yeah.
You better not go over there. Right, they remind you of Job 30. They remind you of Job.
His countenance could just be their skin, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, this leper, you know what I'm saying, why is he so pale like that? Like, damn. Man, that's scary, man. Just,
devil.
Yeah.
Damn devil.
But Romans chapter...
No, I'm sorry, my bad. Revelation 13:10. So what we got to understand is, all right, now we understand this history, right? The origin of Thanksgiving, man. What was the origin of it? So-called pilgrims, right? Conquistadors. The land was conquered. Conquered the Latinos and the natives. Raped, robbed, and murdered the people, right? So the land was taken over, right? Let's read Revelation 13, because we know that God is what? Is a just God, right? Now, but the crimes have been paid for that?
No, they
No. Native Indians are still a reservation. Their land still stolen from them. It hadn't been given back. Nothing been given back. Our people, the so-called Southern Kingdom, been brought over here in slavery, right? Sold into captivity. Names, languages, culture, heritage, everything been stripped from them. Has anything been paid back? That's the question. Knowing the origin of Thanksgiving, has anything been paid back or recompensed? The answer is no. Revelation 13:10. But see, God is a just God, and it's a history book, and it talks about what's going to happen, even though it hadn't happened yet. Read Revelation 13:10.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 10.
Right?
He that leadeth into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity. Who led the Israelites, so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians, into captivity? Right? The other nations. Right? Starting with, the Arabs and the Africans sold them into slavery in this sub-Saharan slave trade. And then you got the transatlantic slave trade. So these were two parts of diaspora of a slave port of people in history. Right? He that leadeth into captivity, read on,
shall go into captivity.
And this is what the Bible says, man. The Bible says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go. A nation that sends the people that lead people into captivity, that nation shall go into captivity. Because Most High deals with nations. You see that? Most High deals with nations. He deals with individuals, but he deals with nations. Because everybody wasn't wicked and went into slavery.
Right.
Everybody, all the conquistadors probably aren't wicked men, like some of the ones that documented, like the De La Casas. He documented it all. So he basically told on his people what they were doing. He documented it. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to do that. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So was he a wicked person for documenting it? Nah. Because he was wicked, he wouldn't have documented it. You see what I'm saying? For the people to know, to put it out there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But Most High what? Deals with nations. So he that leadeth into captivity shall go. Read on.
He that killeth with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword. Because we know over 700 million Native American Indians were killed. Right? Was that recompense? Was those crimes paid for? The answer is no. He that killeth with the sword, read.
Must be killed with the sword.
These are future prophecies, brothers and sisters. This hasn't happened yet. The recompense of his land hasn't happened yet. Read.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what the patience. This is the faith. This is the patience and the faith. This is what we're patiently and faithfully waiting on, enduring. Mm-hmm. Right. This is what now Numbers 35 and 33. Because we gotta understand, like we read in this, it said, "He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword." Right. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. That's what it says right here in Revelation. That's the last book of the Bible, Revelations. All right? So go ahead and read Numbers 35 and 33.
Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
You gotta understand that, Israel. Okay, that the court system ain't honoring that. But read that again.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Most High God is telling you, you shouldn't pollute the land where you are. And how you shouldn't pollute it? Read on.
For blood it defileth the land.
Most High God is telling you, you shouldn't defile the land, because blood defiles the land. If you kill somebody, that's how that land is defiled. Read.
Mm-hmm. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein.
So it can't be paid back. You can't pay back somebody for their death. Like someone loses a loved one, and you want to give them $1 million. See how they do?
Yeah.
They put some of our people away. They hold themselves not guilty. Whose possessor slayed them, hold themselves not guilty, right? And then turn around and when they give a family $2 million or $3 million. You see that?
Well, I'll take that.
That's very disrespectful. Yeah. Our people don't understand.
And that's simple as hell.
That's simple as hell.
Take the money, bro, instead of saying justice, man.
Justice. But see, the blood that defile the land cannot be cleansed. Right? Read on.
Right.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein.
Right.
But by the blood of him that shed it.
By what?
By the blood of him that shed it.
That's the payback. Like eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, head for a head, body for a body. That's the words of the word of the Most High, man. Right? Exodus 15:3. That's the Most High. That's not us. We're just messengers. We're just the watchmen, right? We reading the word of the Lord, man. Origin of Thanksgiving. Genocide of the Native American Indians and the so-called blacks. And it's recompense that got to be paid back for the crimes and the death that happened to those people. It hadn't been paid back yet. It has to be paid back. Thus saith the Lord. All right? We're going to read that.
Exodus chapter 15, verse 3.
Right.
The Lord is a man of war.
He's a what?
The Lord is a man of war.
See, in these Christianity, in these churches, they think, the God he's hugs and kisses. He's all love. He said the Lord is a man of war. Mm-hmm. Lord is a man of war, man. We got to understand everything that takes place in this world, in this earth, is all on the Most High. Thunderstorms, earthquakes, massive killings, these shootings, right? Everything is on the power of the Most High. His people waking up every day, and this truth of the scriptures is coming out. Right? Go to Genesis 15:14. We're gonna just about
Genesis
try to
chapter
close it up.
15.
15:14, because we understand the Most High, like I said earlier, he that leadeth in captivity shall go. Because some people are like, well, I didn't do it, I wasn't here, right? And we were just saying, like, the Most High deals with nations, and just to prove that, Genesis 15:14.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 14. And also, that nation whom they shall serve.
That nation whom they shall serve. Who's is they? The children of Israel, or God's chosen people. That nation whom they shall serve. Right? Read.
Will I judge?
Will I judge? You gonna judge? Most High judge by the nations. Read.
And afterward shall they come out with great substance.
Right. That's Revelations chapter 7, man. That's the kingdom of heaven right there. So Most High judges nations.
Yeah, man. And history already repeats itself, man.
History repeats itself.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High say ain't nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 7:7, right? But
1 and 9, right?
But we did it in Egypt, right? Every time, well, practically every time we came up out of captivity, man.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we did it really in Egypt, man. We came with, they gave us jewelry, they gave us garments, they gave us food, you know what I'm saying, cattle, everything. We were living out of there with great substance, man.
Right.
We did not leave out of there empty-handed, man. And the Lord, the Most High, I try to stop saying the Lord, but the Most High is not going to allow us just to leave this place with, you know what I'm saying, and go back home with nothing, man. And you know what I'm saying? We're going to take something, but we ain't going to take everything, right? All that other garbage going to be left behind, right? Beads from Mardi Gras or something like that, you're going to leave that behind. Stupid stuff, memorabilia, you're going to leave that behind. It's going to be righteousness, man.
Righteousness and rulership.
And slaves. So that's going to be another thing we got to take back. Because I know y'all don't expect the Most High to come down and gather all those people up. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't going to be Christ either. They're going to just come down here to ass up, man. Christ and the angels, man.
Right.
But the gathering, you know what I'm saying? According to Isaiah 14:1, we're gonna possess these people. We're gonna take them and take them back to the Holy Land.
I gotta get that.
We're gonna take them, man.
I gotta get that, bro.
Why ain't our people trying to get on this bandwagon, man? They want it now.
See,
they want it now.
They want their kingdom within Esau's kingdom.
Right.
Like this, how you got little China and little Haiti. They want little Israel.
They got they sure enough do got it. Little China, little Haiti.
They want little Israel
and little Cuba and like they call it Chirac. You know what I'm saying?
They want little Israel. They want Israel.
They want them something so bad for themselves so they can say, "Oh, we started this." You know what I'm saying? No, the Lord don't want that.
Right.
He want to show you what
He said, "Come out of her, my people." That's what he said. Come out of her.
You're not going to think that you're the one that delivered yourself. I just can't. No.
Right. We got Isaiah 14, brothers bringing out with that kingdom, man. What was the other nations going? Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land.
Mm-hmm.
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Yeah.
And the people shall take them. And bring them to their place.
See, it said the people gonna take them, not I will or Christ and the angels. So we gonna take them and bring them to our place, man.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall possess, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Right, man. We just read that in Genesis, what is that?
Genesis 15:4?
Yeah, where it says the
15:14.
Lord shall judge this nation, man.
Judge this nation.
It's
Right.
going to be an eye for eye. You slaughtering my children, man. I'm going to slaughter yours, man.
Right.
I'm going to judge them. Keep on reading down Isaiah 14:21. It's going to say it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, the Lord's going to get his revenge on these people, man. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be in the same mind state like to think you're African American and you're gonna then, you know what I'm saying, get to rule over these people and you know what I'm saying? No, man.
It don't work like that.
You wanna take their hand and, you know what I'm saying, counsel with them right now and celebrating Thanksgiving and what next month, Christmas. See, that's the indoctrination right there, man. Halloween, you started with from the 4th of July, then the Halloween, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, the Black Friday, the first of the year resolution garbage, man. Damn, bro.
Valentine's Day.
It's gonna be hard to get them up out of that, bro.
They don't stop, man.
They feel like they haven't made with them holidays back to back like that, man.
Holidays, all right. Like I said, they call it what, season's greetings. I understand these are heathen's greetings. Heathen's greetings. That's what that is. Heathen's greetings. All right. Just a couple more scriptures. Go to Micah 2 and 10. I'm gonna read this. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." So in Revelation telling us, come out of her, my people. Who's my people? You know who you are. Israelites, blacks, and Hispanics. God's chosen people, saying, come out of her. Come out of her what? Come out of her who? America. That's to her. Your Statue of Liberty. That's a transvestite. That's a
Bruce Jenner.
Right. That's a tranny. Your Statue of Liberty. That's a transvestite.
Right.
Go ahead and Google the image and zoom into the face and look at what he's wearing. That's a transgender. Mm-hmm. But saying, come out of her, my people, because these are the ways of America. You know, like right now we're dealing with these holidays and these birthdays and, you know, Sunday through Saturday, January through December. Like right now, today's day 15 of the 9th month. Some of you will say Wednesdays. That's another example of come out of her. We got to come out of her, all out of the way. We're not American. That's the bottom line. You're not American. You're one of God's chosen people. In this Bible is your history book. The law, statutes, and commandments given to you as a heritage. So you're not American. So go ahead, Micah 2 and 10.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
See that? Arise, you mean stand up, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. Take control of your house. Rise up and do what?
Arise ye and depart.
And depart means come out of her. And depart means not pack your bags and think you're going to move to Israel right now. That's not what that's saying. It's saying depart, meaning mentally and spiritually. Mentally and spiritually come out. Come back to your God. Come back to who you are. Read that again.
Arise ye.
Right.
And depart.
Uh-huh.
For this is not your rest.
This is not your rest. We're in the land of our captivity. Didn't we say all the time? We're in the land of our captivity. We ain't free. We said all the time in the streets. This is not your rest. We're here serving our time. It's like our real life prison, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To gain eternal life. Eternal life will only promised to the Israelites.
Right.
You know? So this is not our place of rest, man. We're not supposed to be comfortable here. There's no comfort. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you hit the lotto, how much money you got. Look at the money. And if you get locked up, say you get a DUI, say you're a millionaire, right? And you get locked up, you get a DUI. They don't, or some you done did some fraud. Guess what? Now you go to jail. Can you go to the ATM if you're in jail? You got any cash in your pocket? They'll freeze your account.
Yeah.
Now where's your money?
Yeah.
Why people don't say you're not free?
Right.
His money, the face got his money on. He just let you hold something. Now, brother, let me hold something. He just let you hold something.
Yeah.
You got $10 million in the bank. Okay, you just let you hold it. You ain't gonna take it with you. What happens when you die? Mm-hmm. We done lost relatives. What happens when you die? The stuff's sitting right here.
Right. Right.
You die, your bag and all your stuff gonna be sitting right there. You ain't taking it with you.
Right.
Now I don't want to drift. That's when Christ was talking about lovers of the world and not lovers of me.
Right.
Our people love these worldly stuff and they house and they cars and stuff that they think that they accumulated, but that's vanity. You better read Solomon. It means nothing.
And
you ain't serving the Most High.
Like you said, it's gonna go right back to them.
It's gonna go right back to them.
What you think? Who our people think they are? Our people think they're Egyptians, right? That's what the Egyptians tried to do. They tried to mummify gold and all that, and the mummies and the coffins were made out of gold and all of that junk. Guess who got their hands on that, man, and took all of that?
Took it.
The damn Edomites, man. They take that, man. You ain't burying nothing. We digging it up. If it's sunken treasure, they got TV shows of that. for sunken treasure and gold rush. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that.
Right.
Well, they digging up everything, man. They looking for every little nook and
They want it all,
cranny, man. They want it all.
They
You know
want
what
it
I'm
all.
saying? Not one piece of treasure left behind, man.
Yep. So hey, man, we just hope that y'all found this this class edifying. We always try to bring out information. A lot of our brothers out there, they know that it ain't right, or they really don't know. You know what I mean? They just always try to put a blanket over it. Oh, just being thankful. Oh, the family coming together. Hey, you can lie to yourself, man, all you want. But what does the Most High God feel about that? Again, it's not how we feel. We're just the messengers. It's how the Most High feel. However you want to look at it, you're commemorating the genocide of your ancestors. So-called black and Hispanic.
I don't really celebrate. I just want to play. That's what the dude told me.
You see,
today
that's
at
what
my
you're
job,
saying.
man.
But you're okay. You're exactly okay. You say you're not celebrating. You are contributing. You're taking part. You're participating. It's like if you go to a football game, I ain't watching the game. You done bought a ticket. You're there. You ain't got to watch every down, every play, but you still there. You're there. You're participating.
Yeah, though hand joined in hand.
Though hand joined in hand. That's it right there. You're participating. You can't slice it up. Oh, I ain't decorate my house like the people down the street. You're in it.
Right.
If you just got one little snowman in the front of your house, you're in it. Your house don't have to be all slam decorated. Learn not the way of the heathen. Come out of for my people. Learn not to envy, not to oppress or choose none of his ways. I mean, there's no straddling the fence. Christ don't want our people, don't want you being lukewarm.
Right, our people don't have the nerve to try to sit and hold each other's hand and pray over swine's flesh tomorrow, man. I could just...
All that's been passed down from the slave plantation, man. It's sad, man. But
Damn, I was doing it too, man, but I can't believe... That's what made me keep searching for more truth, man, because I can't believe I was just bamboozled so easy, and everything I knew was taught to me, and it was just like bamboo, all garbage, man. Right. When I started taking off the layers like of Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus,
digging into that thing,
and what's the other garbage? Easter, right. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, when I started peeling off all that, I said, damn,
layers of lies.
What truth can come out of these people if they telling me that?
Lies
like that, man.
Layers of lies. Let me get the conclusion, man. You want to grab them all. Matthew 26 and close out, man.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the Messiah was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat.
Right.
But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When the Messiah, who was the King of Kings, Lord of Lords,
right,
understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her.
All praises to the Most High. Every time we bring out the gospel is with the truth, the good news. And the truth is who God's chosen people are. The gospel is the Most High in Christ only came to redeem his people and not everybody else. Mm-hmm. All right? You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free, right? We'll close out with this scripture in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Like that gospel, the whole reason why we do classes 3 times a week, and we go out on the streets Saturday and Sunday to push the truth out. The conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. That's the conclusion of the whole matter for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people throughout the 4 corners of the earth. This is your whole duty. Right? Sirach 17:11 says, besides this, he gave them knowledge and the laws of life for an heritage. So fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, woman, and child. You Israelite, man, woman, and child. All right? Like to say shalom, grace, and peace. closing out another class. You know, origins of Thanksgiving. Hope y'all were edified. Periscope, YouTube. There's a lot of information out there. You'll be able to Google yourself and look into, the origins of it.
Yeah.
You know, and the prophecies are in the scriptures.
Look into the and you don't have to agree with our camp. You know what I'm saying? And say, you know what, I'm already in the camp. I don't gotta listen to none of the brother. Hey man, keep an open mind, man.
Open.
It don't have to be the same camp, man, but just keep a okay. We're not with each other. Okay, you don't see us the same. Okay, keep an open mind and just do the research. Look into what we're bringing out. Not just this video, but other videos. Look into what we're bringing out.
Right.
And then, come on, man, do the research and then don't just put a stamp on it before you do the research. Mm-hmm. And just say, you know what, my elder's been in there about 20 years. He knows, but he's keeping damn Saturday.
Saturday.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going to stay on you Saturday worshipers, and it's love. It's love.
Man, yeah. Because nobody ain't looking into it. That's why we always mention Saturday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's witchcraft, man. It's another form of witchcraft. They pass down another damn lie. You know what I'm saying? That lie we didn't get out of it. Christ said be born again. We want to hold on to Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? And for the people that's in the world, they're gonna hold on to Thanksgiving and say it's just, you know what I'm saying, they just want a damn plate. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. So yeah, we're gonna constantly show tough love throughout all areas, man.
That's right.
We love our people, man.
Shalom, grace, and peace, Israel. Closing out day 15 of the 9th month. Shabbat Shalom. Good brothers and sisters throughout the four corners, man. All right. Shalom, grace, and peace.